Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Let's start with how does any code run on your computer. Basic level, there are two components in a computer. First is processor, that is CPU like Intel, AMD, Mac processor, etc. And second is the computer memory. Now processor runs the code which stored in the memory as instructions. The memory stores these instructions as binary, as ones and zeros, which is called machine code. So whenever you hear machine code, that means instruction represent with ones and zeros, which processor can understand. Other than instruction, memory also stores data. By the way, these instructions are specific on the type of processor. Example, instructions will be different for Intel, AMD and Mac. Here, processor job is very simple. It fetches the instruction one by one from memory, understands them and executes them. Hope up to this you are clear. When you are writing some source code with any computer language like C, C++, Go or Rust, they are stored on the hard disk. We humans can understand the source code if we know the language, but the processor cannot. As you already know, that processor can only understand the machine codes. That means you need something like some mechanism that will translate the source code into machine code. And that is called the compiler. So compiler is software that reads out source code from the hard disk and translates it into binary machine code specific to a platform and processor type that the processor can understand. This binary file is executable. When we execute this binary file, it loads into the memory from where the processor fetches it one by one and executes. So this is the flow for source codes that are written in C, C++, Go, etc. and executed on our computer. But languages like Python, Java, and C# work a little different way. They use virtual machine, which is a software implementation of a processor. Let's see how Python works. So we have the Python source code file grid.py, which has a simple print statement like print hello world. So now we have source code and we have memory. Now when we run the Python code like grid.py, we run the command like python grid.py. So when we execute in IDE also, it also executes the same way in the backend. So this Python is the interpreter which is already a binary machine code and loads in the memory as instruction. So here grid source code is not loading. Instead, Python interpreter machine code is loading in the memory with bunch of instructions. Conceptually, you can think Python interpreter has two components. One compiler and another is the Python virtual machine. Now, compiler, which is one component of the interpreter, reads the source code as an argument and converts it into a intermediate low-level language called bytecode. But the processor will not be able to understand this bytecode. The Python virtual machine, which is the other part of the interpreter, understands this bytecode and executes the bytecode instruction on the hardware. So here Python virtual machine is doing the work of the processor. I believe now it is also making sense to you why Python source code is platform independent, which means once you write source code in Python, you can execute it in different system as it's not executed by any processor, but rather executed by Python virtual machine. So at a high level, you now understand how Python works under the hood, right? Quick recap. Logically, you can think of Python interpreter as two components, compiler and Python virtual machine. The compiler reads the source code and converts it into bytecode instructions, and Python virtual machine executes the bytecode on the hardware. Up to this, I think it's clear, right? If you have any queries, please feel free to put into the comment section. So either I can get back to you. Now, if you are not like me, you may want to dig into more details of some intermediate steps. Say we have Python source code and Python interpreter. When the compiler converts the source code into a bytecode, it goes through 4 steps. First is called lexical analysis. Now, this lexical analysis, a lexer or tokenizer, scans the source code and converts it into a list of tokens. Say, if you have a line in source code like x equal to 10, then it would be tokenized like x, comma, equal to, comma, 10 in a list. We'll understand this later in advanced concepts. Second is parsing. The parsers takes these tokens and arrange them into a structure that reflects the syntactic rules of Python. This results actually parse in a parse tree. Third is the abstract syntax tree or AST. The AST represents the hierarchical structure of the source code. Each node in the tree corresponds to a construct in the source code, example, expression, statements, etc. Fourth is the bytecode compilation. The AST is traversed and a set of bytecode instruction is generated. Bytecode is a lower level representation and which is a closer to machine code but still platform independent. For example, the Python statement x equal to 10 might be compiled into a sequence of bytecode instruction like load underscore const 10, store underscore name x, like that. So this is how the compiler part of the interpreter converts the source code into bytecode. Then Python virtual machine executes the bytecode instruction. It includes a stack-based execution model where operations are performed on a stack of values. For instance, load const 10 pushes the value 10 onto the stack, and store name x pops the value from stack and assign it to the variable x. Now let's take a simple Python code and practically understand the concept. Okay, let's see a simple Python code file grid.py, and we have a very simple statement in that Python file that print hello world. So we all know that it will basically print the hello world statement, nothing else. Let's try this. So let's execute this into terminal. So this is our terminal. Here we are in the learn Python folder, our project folder. So let's activate this one, the virtual environment. We know the source and this is the to activate the virtual environment, right? And if you using Windows, then you don't need to use source. So it's now activated. You can see the env here. Now let's simple execute this grid.py. To execute it, we know Python and the grid.py. And it actually shows the hello world. It's simple and it's what we expected, right? When we execute the source code, the Python source code, it shows us the statement hello world. But now instead of executing the grid.py, let's compile it. Okay, so to compile the source code, the command is python py_compile and then grid.py. So python -m py_compile grid.py. So as soon as I try to compile the source code instead of executing, then it will create a folder called pycache in that folder location, and there it create a compiled file that is a bytecode, right? So let's look into that. Let's say ls pycache. Yeah, you can see in that there is a pycache folder it's created when we compiled it, and there it created a file called grid.cpython. Bytecode file is always a pyc extension. Now if you want to read this particular file, you can read that also. Your cat command in Windows, you can execute the type command, but as I am using Mac, so to read that file is the cat command. And then so as soon as you try to read that, you see you cannot understand this because all gibberish, because it's a machine code, right? Kind of machine code. It's actually bytecode, not the machine code. But you can, I mean, Python virtual machine able to understand it when you run this bytecode to Python virtual machine. But our system cannot understand, right? So it shows the gibberish. But there is a human readable format also available. If create create this bytecode, there is another command which you can execute to create a human readable format of the bytecode. The command is python m, just to understand what is in the bytecode, how it's working. Grid. So python -m, then this, then grid.py. Now it will show us the human readable format of the bytecode, all these statements. See, here you can see, and if you read it, you are able to understand that load name is loading the print statement, the print function basically. It's loading a print function, and it also the constant, loading the constant, that is the hello world string, right? So these how the bytecode actually has the instruction which executed by the Python virtual machine into the hardware. So practically speaking, you don't ever need to use this command. But yeah, but if you want to know more, like this, and you are not like me, you want to understand what's actually happening under the hood, how the Python is working. Because in general, when you execute the source code, that Python and then source code file, it's just execute it, and everything happen in the back. You cannot see it. Also the pycache folder there. But if you really want to see that how it's working, how that when Python compiles it, how the bytecode is get generated, and what are the statements into the bytecode, then you can see like this. But in practically, you don't need to do this, but give you more understanding, just to how the Python works under the. So hope you have a good fair idea that and understand how the Python works under the hood. And but if you still have any question, any queries, any comments, please feel free to put into the comment section, and I will get back to you with answers. Let's have a quick summary. First, we have seen how any code runs on the computer. Then we had discussed how Python runs under the hood. We understood that logically we can think of Python interpreter as two components, compiler and Python virtual machine, that is PVM. The compiler reads the source code and converts it into bytecode instructions, and Python virtual machine PVM executes the bytecode on the hardware. Then we have learned command like python -m py_compile to compile a simple Python source code with print hello world statement, which basically creates a bytecode. Then we also learned the command like python -m disdisk to see human readable bytecode statements. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with others. If you are new to this channel and not subscribed yet, then please hit the subscribe button so that you will get notified when I upload new content. See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and happy coding.